He said the most beautiful things about me. And he hasn't said bad about me personally, but I'm sure that'll be next. But I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
The world's richest man, Elon Musk, and the world's most powerful man, Donald Trump, are locked in a war that could redefine the future of American politics and business. But how did this epic war of words begin? Could this be the end of the bromance between these two men? They once seemed inseparable. And what does it mean for the future of America, both in politics and for the average American? Hold on till the end, because the fallout between Trump and Musk is only just beginning. The relationship between Elon Musk and Donald Trump was once a public display of mutual admiration and a deep personal connection. From publicly endorsing Donald Trump after an assassination attempt on the president's life at a campaign rally in Pennsylvania back in July 2024, the tech billionaire stood by Trump, offering even more support and advising the president on various initiatives. However, in recent events, cracks are beginning to appear in this seemingly solid bromance between the two powerful forces. Elon Musk, once a prominent supporter of the Trump administration, began to distance himself from the president, quietly and openly, as his policies started to clash with Musk's business interests. The defining moment of this shift came when Musk left his position as a special government employee and head of the Department of Government Efficiency, also known as DOGE. Musk's recent departure from the Trump administration was not just deemed a rash decision, but also a measure of mounting resentment over some of Trump's new policies, particularly those with direct implications for his enterprises and Trump's reckless budgetary decisions that will add trillions to the U.S. debt. Musk has been pro-Trump on issues of space travel and technological enhancements, right from day one at the White House. Still, Trump's recent approach to EV mandates, subsidies, and the big, beautiful bill led Musk to question the president's vision publicly. By June 5th, Elon Musk couldn't keep quiet any longer. In a series of social media posts on his X handle, Musk began criticizing the so-called Big Beautiful Bill. Yes, that's what it's actually called, claiming it was never shown to him by the president. In response to Trump's interview, Elon said, "False. This bill was never shown to me even once, and was passed in the dead of night so fast that almost no one in Congress could read it." He called the bill a disgusting abomination and went on to ridicule the spending and what he saw as unnecessary projects tied to the bill. This public rebuke of Trump could just be the beginning of a nasty confrontation between the two. Trump, who had earlier praised Musk for his innovative leadership and business skills in the EV sector, was surprised by the backlash. For months before and after becoming the U.S. president, Trump had been unapologetic in defending Musk and calling their relationship a great one. But in the aftermath of Musk's recent criticism, Trump's patience has also begun to grow thin. Without a response from the president at the time, Musk's criticism continued to escalate, with his alleged accusation that the president's actions were suppressing the electric vehicle or EV industry and its growth potential. And as such, Musk's growing irritation was evident. But what was even more surprising was the president's reaction. President Trump, who usually waits long enough to respond to Musk's blunt criticisms, finally responded. In a series of public interactions with journalists at the Oval Office, Trump said, "Some people leave and they become hostile. I don't know what it is. It's like a Trump derangement syndrome, I guess they call it." The personal nature of this standoff became apparent as both men's statements turned from policy disagreements to more personal sentiments. An almost inseparable union between the richest men on Earth and the most powerful man in the world was now devolving into a full-fledged war of words, with each side getting more embittered than before. But that's not all, at least not yet. As the battleground between Donald Trump and Elon Musk intensifies, social media is quickly becoming the obvious arena for their public disagreements. Elon Musk's social media platform X was instrumental in rallying Trump supporters during the 2024 campaign, but is fast filling up with a variety of sharp and combative posts, insults, and jabs at one another. The first major standoff arose when Musk publicly questioned Trump's role in the 2024 election, suggesting that without his help, Donald Trump might not have won the election. Musk's tweet claiming, "Without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House and Republicans would be 51 to 49 in the Senate." Such ingratitude was a direct hit at Trump's response in an interview he had at the White House. It was a statement by the tech mogul that not only questioned Trump's swift victory, but also put the tech billionaire in the position of a kingmaker, someone who played a decisive role in ensuring Trump's success during the polls. This public declaration has cut deeply into Trump. Trump said, "I took away the EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, and he just went crazy." Trump further claimed that Musk had only started to criticize him after learning about the cuts to electric vehicle subsidies in the bill. The continued back and forth on X quickly began to go viral, as usual, with millions of followers on both sides weighing in on the battle. But it wasn't just about the politics of this big, beautiful bill. Both men began to question each other's motives, and in doing so, they revealed just how much the personal animosity had built up. For Musk, it was all about protecting his business interests, particularly in the green energy and electric vehicle sectors. For Trump, it was more about control and power, and a feeling of betrayal by someone he considered a close friend, something that appears to happen all too often in his administration. Trump has made it distinctly apparent that he will not let Musk's accusations go without comment. To this effect, Trump has been vocal in questioning Musk's understanding of government policies and calling out his supposed ignorance of the legislative process. On the other hand, Musk has continued to debunk most of the president's stance, making remarks that the president is not telling the truth and is out of touch with the country's immediate needs. One can say that the clash between Elon Musk and Donald Trump has quickly evolved beyond a personal quarrel and is beginning to reverberate through the Republican Party. Both powerful men, while being distinctively influential in their spheres, are known to have one thing in common: their ability to sway public opinion and mobilize significant followings. But with the feud now escalating, the GOP might as well find itself caught in the crossfire, and the implications could be significant. One of the key consequences of this possible fallout would be the response from Republican insiders. Elon Musk has been vocally advocating for conservative causes, particularly through his stance on space travel and clean energy. His outspoken support for Trump during the last presidential election helped him build stronger ties with key players within the Republican Party. However, his recent criticism of Trump and the way he has publicly distanced himself from the president may well create a rift with other Republican members that many will soon be forced to address. While some Republicans are already standing by Trump, fearing that Musk's growing influence could undermine their own political ambitions, other party members are finding themselves in a more delicate position. Musk's growing popularity, especially within the political circle, means that his comments and positions could sway a significant portion of the electorate, particularly younger voters who admire his business achievements and vision for the future. However, the GOP seems divided for now. On one hand, some of the party's members, such as Anna Paulina Luna, are sticking to Trump's narrative and actively defending his economic policies. In an interview with Fox News, she said, "Obviously, I have President Trump's back. I don't think that he should be impeached. Do I think he was on Jeffrey Epstein's island? I don't think so." This was in response to Musk's recent accusation of President Trump's inclusion in the controversial Epstein case files. In a tweet, he said, "Time to drop the really big bomb. @Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. This is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day." As the feud continues, Musk's influence on the left is also becoming visible. Outspoken public critics of President Trump, such as George Conway, are now rallying behind Musk, as they view him as a potential counterweight to Trump's current power. Musk's political evolution also appears to be leaning more towards the left, as in the past, as he has continued to criticize specific Republican-pushed policies, particularly those related to energy and climate change. And of course, these are areas where Musk's Tesla's business has set a high standard for future innovation, and his alignment with left-leaning political figures now contrasts directly with the conservative image he had long portrayed. Musk's political trajectory is becoming increasingly complicated. while he continues to publicly support certain conservative policies such as lower taxes and deregulation. His recent criticism of the president now places him in opposition to many within the ruling Republican Party. This leaves Musk with some interesting political balancing to do, wherein he needs to maintain his credibility within the tech world, but also among left-wing circles, while still appealing to the conservative base that has enabled him to develop his business empire in America. Other than this feud, Musk's evolving political stance may raise uncomfortable questions for the GOP. How would the party reconcile its traditional base with the new generation of voters who were more inclined to follow figures like Musk? But this is not the end yet. As the feud between President Trump and Elon Musk continues to reach new heights, the big question on everyone's mind now is, what's next? Would this rift cause a permanent break between the two billionaires and allies? Or would there be a chance for reconciliation? Could their fallout have a lasting consequence not only for their political futures, but also for the broader business and economic landscape in America? Both men's personal lives, professional careers, and public reputations would be significantly affected by their continued quarrel. With Trump, his political base remains firmly behind him, but without Musk's support, he would likely lose a considerable percentage of the younger tech-oriented Republican demographic. Musk nonetheless has succeeded in building an international conglomerate that pushes past traditional political boundaries. While his recent criticism and comments about the president's policy may have angered some Republicans, he also seems to have the potential to push back members of the Democratic Party who view his growing profile as a threat to their political agendas. In business, the implications are equally important, as Musk's empire, which is built on companies such as X, Tesla, SpaceX, and the Boring Company, relies heavily on government contracts, subsidies, and favorable regulations. The feud with U.S. President Donald Trump would indeed threaten some of these critical relationships. With Trump's ability to influence policy in Congress to his favor, Musk may find himself locked out of key government deals if Trump decides to follow through on his threat to terminate Musk's government contracts altogether. However, the consequences are not just limited to the political or business space. The international markets are also paying close attention. The ongoing trade war between the United States and other countries such as China, Canada, and European countries, as well as the shifting dynamics in global politics, could put more pressure on both Musk's tech businesses and Trump's foreign policy agenda. A fallout in their relationship would no doubt destabilize the balance of power in the tech world. In politics, Trump's polarizing remarks and the ongoing backlash to his aggressive trade tariffs may still deter potential allies, such as Elon Musk, from supporting him. For Musk, the future in politics is uncertain. While he remains a vocal advocate of reduced government spending and deregulation, his recent attacks on Trump's policies, particularly those involving tariffs on electric vehicles and clean energy, not to mention ballooning the deficit, suggest that he will no longer fully align himself with the GOP in the future. Ultimately, the fallout between Elon Musk and Donald Trump has far-reaching implications for Americans, the business world, and the future of global relations. The question now is, how will these two influential figures settle their differences? And what will it mean for America and the broader political and economic landscape? As tensions continue to mount between both sides, one thing is clear. The war of words between Elon Musk and Donald Trump is far from over, and it's only a matter of time before it changes the political and economic landscape in ways we can't yet fully imagine. Thanks for watching. Please support what we do here by hitting the like button, subscribing, and turning on the notification bell to stay up to date with the world of politics and the economy at large. See you in the next video.